Hello, hello, and hello. I came across this video, right? And it's by Kevin Samuels. So, the title of the video is The Self Love of a Modern Woman. And I want to know, because sometimes, when you get to hear something again, maybe you'll hear something different. So, is the self love of modern women helping us, hurting us, not getting us anywhere? Like where does the self love? I mean, you're supposed to have self love anyway. That goes for everybody. You gotta love yourself first. But is that breaking up families? Is it that being masculine? Is that making it being feminine? So, hey guys, we're gonna go back and see what he has to say. And let's see if we hear something differently now. And maybe let's see what we get out of it. The self love of the modern woman. Let's check it out.
Extreme. What else is new, right? I know there's a lot of news going on today with the Supreme Court and what they
If it's loud, turn your volume down because it's just loud. But let's go.
did with the Roe v. Wade. I get it. I get it. But your godfather has to do what he has to do. So I'm going to ask you guys to stay focused on tonight. Candle of the evening from Le Labo, Cologne 17. Think of it as a nice summer breeze. Amber, musk, and citrus notes. Beautiful candle for the summer. Fragrance of the day. As we're in spring, I decided to pull out probably one of Creed's best fragrances ever. This one is called Spice and Wood. And this, without a doubt, is probably one of the best fragrances Creed has ever made. It's straight up for men. Spice and Wood. It is great. Spicy and woody. What are you going to make? I mean, I'm just telling you, it's dope. All right, here's what we need to do. Hit the like button. I know there's a Met Gala going on. I actually reached out to lead attorney and Dennis Sperling and kind of gave them a heads up with the Roe v. Wade decision. So I guess they're going live tonight too. So the audience is kind of split. But we'll roll with it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. So, guys, you look in the you see this, the title, The Self-Love of Modern Woman.
Hey,
Of
Blanche.
modern women. The self-love of modern women. We have heard, all you have to do is throw or rock in any direction, and you will hear these words: manifest, self-love, my truth. All of these aggrandized words for a lot of women today. And, I'm not going to lie. If you're a woman, I'm quite sure it makes you feel good to have somebody tell you you are the sugar honey iced tea. And that all you have to do is worry about you and yourself.
Wow.
So to that end, on Friday, I talked about how we're going to talk about Mimi. Mimi, 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 the Mimi generation. Mimi, Mimi, I. And if you haven't noticed, I have been going quite a bit on this whole bad chick, boss chick culture. Okay? So on Instagram, I posted uh, a photograph, several photographs of somebody that I'm sure most people did not know.
Oh.
Her name was Grace Jones. And Grace Jones, I said, for all these boss chick bad, da, 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 so many overqualified women are proclaiming themselves to be, here's what it looks like.
Hey, real talk.
Study and learn. There would be no Little Kim, Nicki Minaj, Eve, Beyonce, uh, or any of these people without Grace Jones. Grace Jones was the original I don't give a F woman. Yes, there's Diane Carroll, Diana Ross,
Millie
all of
Jackson.
these other icons,
Millie
Dorothy Dandridge
Jackson.
and blah, blah, blah. But all those women are much more sophisticated and mainstream. Grace Jones is in a class by herself. Grace
Yeah.
Jones is on the level of Freddie Mercury of Queen. Grace Jones is on the level of a Jimi Hendrix and a Prince and a Bob Marley. It is a one in a lifetime person, somebody who transcends everything. Back in the 70s, Grace Jones was tall, dark skinned, angular facial structure, and she had an attitude that she destroyed fashion. Anytime Grace Jones was in a fashion show, she destroyed it. These women are
Yeah,
talking
Millie.
about walking in. Grace Jones wrecked shit. Then she didn't even know, not only did she do fashion, she did high fashion better than all the European models. So when I hear black women talking about European beauty standards, Grace motherfucking Jones.
Uh,
She took it to the white girls, as you think, and kicked in their ass in their show.
hmm.
And then she decided, hey, I want to sing. And she had arguably a productive and successful singing rock career. Then she acted. Grace Jones is one of the only people to ever whoop James Bond's ass. Now, that's Grace Jones. I don't give a hot damn about her personal life, who she was screwing, who her scandals. I said, if you want to know what an authentic boss chick, bad chick is, that's what I think of. And that's a high standard. Why is that important? Because when you decide to live a life like Grace Jones, when you decide to live a life at that me, there's a cost. There's a cost for men and there's a cost for women. But unlike most people, Grace Jones knew the cost and she paid it gladly. She paid it gladly. So I'm going to say this to everybody under 40. If you don't know who I posted, I will say the me posting Grace Jones on Instagram and Facebook was both a learning experience and it's also a culture experience. That was some of the most sad responses I've seen. And I'm going to tell black men and black women alike, you need to do better. Saying that the woman looked like a man, I'm like, she may not be your type. She's definitely not my type. But come on, man. Look at what she did. See, we have a hard time separating whether or not we like somebody with what they did. We got a real problem with that in our community. And that's why I just let it rock out. And I tell you, some of the most juvenile responses came out of women's mouths and men's mouths. You told on yourself.
Why you pretending
And
like
see, that's what I wanted to get. And this is what I'm talking about, the selfishness of modern women. Modern women talk a lot of schnitt. But when it gets right down to it, you tell on yourselves all day long.
Oh, yeah.
Because
right.
in order to be a boss chick, a bad chick, or whatever, you got to be willing to pay the cost. So today we're going to talk about the self-love of the modern woman. The women that came before paved the way for what a lot of women today take for granted. And I want you guys to see what the end of the road tends to look like for modern women who put self first above everything else. Now,
Well, maybe. Well, you're going to pay the cost. Hey, Monique, you're going to pay the cost regardless. Either you want to be Miss Independent or Miss Married. Either way, you got to pay the cost. That's what they forget to tell you about. Because either way, you got to give up something. To be independent, you got to give up something. To be married, you got to give up something. So it's not like one way is better than the other way, especially if you are a woman, right? You're a woman, either way, you got to give up. If you're married, you got to give up. You're married and you have children. If you want it to be a professional anything, you got to put that in the back burner or give it up. Or if you decide to be an independent woman and have a job and a life and all, then you got to give up the husband and the children. I mean, you could still have the kids. People have kids all the time, but that's just how life is. Either way, you tilt the scale. You got to give. That's how life is. But don't make it appear like having a husband is the end all be all, or being independent is the end all be all. You know, you have to find a middle ground. But let's carry on.
you may not like what I'm about to show you. You may not agree, but I'm going to tell you, I find it hard to believe that, well, you know what? I got a better example. I'll just show you better than I can tell you. I'll show you better than I can tell you because unless you can outdo um, unless you can outdo these two, you can't really say nothing. Can anyone live with her? All right, let's see. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. There we go. Picture in picture. Can anyone live with Eartha Kitt?
That's not for me to decide.
Oh, he got on my word. He got on my girl Eartha. Mm-hmm.
And who decides to live with me to decide? Not for me.
But are you willing to compromise within a relationship?
Compromise? What is compromising? Compromising for what? Compromising for what reason? To compromise? For what? To compromise. What is compromise?
If a man came into your life, wouldn't you want to compromise?
I want you guys to understand something. What you're seeing right now is a woman who actually had the receipts to show that she lived this self love, my this, my that. And this is what it
Nah,
tends to
nah,
look like.
nah.
Tends to look like for
Mm-mm.
far too many of our women. Many people have seen.
Now, if he would have showed like somebody else, I'd have been like, okay, cool. But do he know what that lady went through? Does he know what Eartha Kitt been through in her life? That wasn't a great example of all the things that was done to her in her life. She did not have it easy at all. That's why at her age she said what she said and how she said it. So when you get a certain age, you've been through some things. Maybe some things people don't know you've been through. People say how they really feel. Look at her age bracket. That's why she said what she said. But if y'all want to take a deeper look, go into Eartha Kitt's life. She did not have it easy at all. But we'll carry on. We'll carry on.
In this clip, but I want you to understand what it means.
Was I married 4 times? Yes, I was. I confess I was married which I confess I was married 4 times. And the
Fred,
reason I'm smiling is because I spent a lot of time um, giving the men involved in some of these relationships a very bad uh, reputation. I'm not saying that I ever said anything that wasn't true. It was all true, except that the reason that this one human being kept choosing selection poor, not able to evaluate whether this should be a friendship or this should be a marriage. I wanted to be married. And so when the opportunity was there to do so, I did it. I had not lived alone.
that's Diane Carroll. And unless you ladies think you can do better than Diane Carroll, that's a 10. And see, let me also talk about this notion of 10. When we rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 means damn near perfect. See, what a lot of women today are doing is they're doing this split thing. They're starting to say, I rate myself as a 10 because I feel bold about myself. But I'm not a 10 as in the terms of perfect. It's bullshit.
Quite frankly, I didn't know how to do that. I'm not sure that I know how to do it today. But I did think that it was time for me to stop and try to
Pay
answer
attention.
these questions for myself.
Pay
I
attention.
decided to come back to Los Angeles and learn to live alone. I said I
She
would
does.
learn.
She decided to come back to Los Angeles at the end of life after 4 attempts of marriage. A woman who has had more than most of you could ever dream of. And she's facing with some very real things.
About me, not the role I play. And it's difficult to learn to live alone. It's difficult because I'm difficult. I'm not easy to live with.
It's difficult to learn to live alone. It's difficult to live with a selfish woman because selfish women are difficult. Now you got two of the best that ever did it to share your reflection at the end of life. One is humble and reflective and coming at it with humility, and the other is cackling.
You have 3 or 4 choices here that will give you a terrible day or a wonderful day. And there's no one else to blame except you.
No
Because
one
you're
else.
here alone. You can't say he did this or he
Tell them,
did that.
Diane.
It's all you. And you don't seem to want to make yourself extremely happy the way you wanted other people to come along to make you extremely happy. Nobody can make you extremely happy but you.
Come on
Exactly.
now.
Well, that's true.
I was an old lady before I understood that.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. I was an old lady before I understood. She started out apologizing to the men that she faulted.
She didn't apologize.
4 chances at it, 4 marriages. This is Diane Carroll we're talking about.
Mm.
And at the end of her life, she had to go back to LA to finally wrestle with the fact that she is a difficult person. And what she has left is nothing except her. So a lot of people say my tone and this and that. I am trying to get so many of you women to understand that this is what it looks like when you are a selfish, self-concerned woman. They have painted the picture that it sounds so good.
I didn't
But
get that.
unless you are better than Grace Jones, Diane Carroll, Eartha Kitt, Dorothy Dandridge, Lena Horne, the list goes on.
Mm-mm.
You better pay attention.
Mm-mm.
You better pay attention because that's Diane Carroll, an icon. Well, let's hear what
Can
Eartha.
anyone live with Eartha Kitt?
That's not for me to decide. That's for someone who decides to live with me to decide. Not for me.
But are you willing to compromise within a relationship?
Compromise? What is compromising?
And her golden years. Look at that look. Compromise. What? And I want you guys to understand the voodoo she's going to pull with words that made so many women say, ooh, she's cold. She's this, she's that. But look in her eyes, ladies. Look in her eyes and ask yourself, do you want this to be your final act?
Compromising for what? Compromising for what reason? To compromise? For what? To compromise. What is compromise?
If a man came into your life, wouldn't you want to compromise?
Stupid.
Who believes that laugh? Who believes that laugh was genuine? But when you spent your life at this, it's all you got. This is all they got left. After all of that bad chick, boss chick, selfish, I'm me first, me, I don't care. It's all about me and my bag. This is it. And this is it for 2 of the best that ever did it. 2 of the best that ever did it.
But they have
Not
to.
your middle class self.
Yeah, but they found peace.
A man comes into my life and I have to compromise? You must think about that one again. A man comes into my life and you have to compromise for what? For what? For what? A relationship is a relationship that has to be earned.
Oh,
She's
she
right.
thought she dropped knowledge.
She did.
A relationship that has to be earned, meaning a relationship with her has to be earned. You're coming into my life. And that is what so many me, I, selfish modern women are really telling you, gentlemen, that you are not on their level. You are coming into their life. You are coming to their lifestyle. That is why you can have women with children from other men, never married, expecting to get men who are making 6 figures annually, and then expecting strict monogamy and want 100% commitment for a man that they only have to share part of their free time. part of their free time because they are so great and wonderful, because they are everything. See, this is what so many
Exactly,
women,
Brent.
you are talking about equally yoked. When you talk about equally yoked, a man wants equal investment. You need to invest your time
Mm.
and your feminine affects to compensate for his resources. There is no equally yoked with today's modern woman because they don't have the time. I want you to understand attention, but it's that lifestyle. You get to be with Eartha. You get to be with me. Come into my life, my life, my life, my life, my life. Who's in your life?
Not to compromise for. And I love relationships. I think they're fantastic. They're wonderful. I think they're great. I think there's nothing in the world more beautiful than falling in love.
Falling in love.
But falling in love for
Falling in love.
That's a
I
problem
want you to
too.
I want you to pay attention
That's
to
a
what she's
problem
about to
too.
say right now. Modern women, this was your grandmother.
Mm. But I thought
This was
modern,
likely your mother.
but I thought it wasn't like that back in the days. I thought it was
These are
just
the women that gave birth to baby boomers and Generation X.
oh,
Marcus Stranger. These are the women that gave birth to this warped thinking of this fantasy of earning and falling in love and, unrequited love and this chaotic push pull up, down, yin, yang. And this is what a chaotic, selfish, modern woman looks like in the end.
the right reasons. Falling in love for the right purpose. Falling in love. Falling in love.
In love.
When you fall in love,
exactly, Blanchy Pooh.
what is there to compromise about?
Isn't love
Pay attention.
a union between two people? Or
No.
does Eartha fall in love with herself?
I think
Can anyone live with Eartha, Kit?
that's not for me to decide.
Is love a union between two people, or does Eartha fall in love with Eartha? And that's the trick.
Nothing in the world more beautiful than falling in love. But falling in love for the right reasons. Falling
The
in love
right reasons.
for the right purpose. Falling in love.
Exactly.
Falling in love.
Look at
When you
her.
fall in love,
She looks crazy.
Huh?
what is there to compromise about?
Love.
Isn't love a union between two people? Or does
Look-
Eartha fall in love with herself?
I want you guys to look at that look on her face.
That's because
Look at
that
that.
question is dumb.
That is a woman who recognizes she's been outed.
Now that was a dumb question. Will she fall in love with herself?
That is a woman who recognizes she's been outed. Dude. That is a woman who recognizes she has been straight up outed. And she's like, ooh, you got me. You got me, sir. You got me. You got me, sir. Look at the look on her face. That's what it became. That's what it became. Look at that. That's
Wayne.
what it became.
Hey, Wayne.
Ooh, Eartha. She's like, falling in love. What? Me? Falling in love? Who is that? No. You get Eartha. You don't get that. Look at that right there. Look at that. You can't make this shit up,
She
folks.
said for the
You
right
cannot
reason.
make this up.
She said for the right reason.
Everpure Glossing,
Hold
sulfate
up
free,
now.
pH balanced, reveals pure shine. Everpure by L'Oreal.
She said for the right reasons.
You're a mean one, Eartha Kitt. You nasty, waspy soul. I mean, shout out to Eartha. Her career, man, she was fearless. But this is what it looks like. That's why I'm like, pay attention. Falling in love, falling in love, in love, in love, in love. Look at that. In love, in love. You're a mean one. Look at that. That's what it is. Because that's what they got left. There are no more games. There are no more balls. There are no more movie roles. There's just
I think if you were to think about it in terms of analyzing,
Oh, thank you, Wayne.
yes,
I appreciate that.
I fall in love with myself and I want someone to share it with me.
boom. Eartha Kitt from the grave just read you modern women your DNA. You fall in love with yourselves and you want someone to share it with you. Your love, your life, your world, your value, your truth. Every night, you are seeing the spirit of Eartha. They want someone to, they're in love with the idea of love, but they fall in love with themselves. That's why they don't know who we are, gentlemen. That's why there's like, what? I only have 2 hours, maybe a day for you, but you need to be waiting for me because I am me. And you're falling in love with me. So you get bored.
I want someone to share me with me.
Share me with me. Look at that look on her face. Look.
Has that happened?
Bye, Waylon! Bye!
No, it hasn't.
Many times. In many.
Has it happened? Hell no, it did not happen. That's why she's yelling at neighbors and her housekeepers and everything else. The dog is barking because the dog is what she was left with. Ladies, I don't sit here to say this stuff to embarrass you, but I just want you to understand that Eartha Kitt was better than you. She had more, but so many women are in love with themselves. Modern women are in love with they're in love with themselves, folks. How else could you get it? You get somebody who can say they don't want to share and they've got children with other men. How else can you get someone who says they don't want to share and they have a whole 1, 2 children? Some have a marriage, have one child's father, 2 children's father, a whole career, a pet, family, and then activities. And they want us as men to take a part of a part that's left over. And like Eartha Kitt said, she wants to fall in love. That's a feeling. And she wants somebody to fall and she wants someone to share the feeling she has when she's in love, when it's about her. Modern women are the selfishness of modern women. The selfishness, and it's called self-love. No, it's not self-love, it's selfish. And that's why I say one of the most insidious things they've told these women: self-love, self-love, self-love. No, you're being selfish. Selfishness of modern women. To where you look at, like I said, I posted Grace Jones up there, and I talked about, if you want to know what a bad B, a boss chick was, it's Grace Jones. One of the best that ever did it. And she was brash and bold, and she accepted everything that came along with it. And like I said, on Instagram, on Facebook, Facebook was actually Facebook was really sad.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Facebook was really sad, honestly. I saw some of the most disgusting behavior from us today. And I'm like, man, y'all don't even know who you're talking about. But Grace Jones and Diane Carroll and all those other people, those women were more sophisticates. She was out there. And like I said, when you want to live that way, it comes with trade-offs. Diane Carroll, you look at that Oprah video, 4 marriages. And she said, I did not learn until I was an old woman that the issue was me. And now she spent the last days living alone. If Diane Carroll had to buy a dog, and that's what it means to die alone, folks, ladies, Diane Carroll. Diane Carroll is better than you will ever be. And she didn't learn until it was too late. So get over the fact that you don't like my tone. My tone is matched with my sense of urgency. That's the problem. Because far too many women today are talking about they want a man on their level, on their terms. And this is this selfishness, this self-love. It means I can ask for the best of the best. I can ask for a millionaire because I'm a 10. Now, I'm not perfect, but I'm a 10 in the fact that I think very highly of myself. No, 10 means you're damn near perfect. So when somebody asks, rate yourself from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, you need to start adding 10 is almost perfect, because women are living this bifurcated life. They're saying, well, I'll call myself a 10 because it's an ego push. But if you say I'm a 10, does that mean there's no room for improvement? You have women that in one breath they'll say they're a 10, and in the next breath they'll say, yes, there's room for improvement. Then you ask a woman, do you like a man that's more down to earth, more humble, or full of himself? More down to earth, humble, but y'all are full of yourselves.
Y'all stupid.
The issue with the self-love, the selfishness of so many women today is you cannot be equally yoked with a man, because you cannot give a man one of the things he requires most from you: time. Your time is already given to your life, your purpose, your this, your that, your kids, blah, blah, blah. And you want someone to fall in love.
No, I think that if you are, quote unquote, as you guys call it, a high value man, then you cannot give the woman what she wants, and that is time. Because you at work, right? You at meetings, you got things to do, you got to bring that money home. So even if a woman is in the house, you're not there because you're working. So she needs to find something to do. There's not that much cleaning and cooking on earth. It doesn't take 8 hours to cook and clean. Especially if you're the type of person that you prep your meat the night before. Some people prep their meat, they season it, so only thing they got to do the next day is put it in the oven or whatever. So if you do all that prepping at night, the next day won't be so hard. Washing clothes is simply Wash machine, hang it up. You may got to iron, you may want to iron for the week. It all depends. But if the man is working, then you can't give her what she really wants. And that is time. I don't know. No. I know, tell him, Wayne. That's the truth, Wayne.
With you, now you want somebody just like Eartha Kitt says. Eartha Kitt falls in love with herself, and she wants someone to experience her being in love with herself. Absolutely not. That's why women are so addicted to these lifestyles. So when women say they could get with an average man, that's bullshit. They can't get with an average man because they're not okay with reducing their lifestyle. Women really cannot imagine going backwards. They say it, but in practice, they don't do it. So you think about one thing and you ask yourself, do modern women lack humility? Lack humility, because I am starting to hear more women sound more braggadocious than even some of the most biggest braggarts of men I've ever seen. Come on, folks, we need to get these super chats up. No. 10,000 folks in here, less than 4,000 chat. Nope. All right, so the chat room goes off. We're going to need at least 20 more people to hit the super chat. Absolutely not. Thank you, Lou Casely. She came through, but y'all folks come in and see Lou Casely put the big donation up, and I appreciate it. But I want other people to contribute to this as well, because as well as I'm talking, I'm teaching. I'm giving you examples of women who were big into self, but where did it end for them all? Where did it end for them all? And is the price worth it?
Hey, Tracy.
Boom. Let's see. All right.
Don't forget to hit the like, guys. Hit that like. Don't forget, guys, if you haven't hit that like, hit that like. And if you are new to the channel, hold on, GA. If you are new to the channel and you like to see more shows like this, hit that subscribe. Didn't agree with all he said, but he speaks a lot of uncomfortable truth. Okay. Listen, everybody, every single body have their opinion. This is not a battle. So don't come in here looking for a battle or back and forth. Your opinion is your opinion. And I appreciate all you guys' opinion.
I'm going to open up. I'm going to open up whatchamacallit, Instagram, and bring some folks in, because the truth of the matter is I see this a lot on the gram. Manifest, living my best life, all this other stuff. And at the end of the day, what does it lead most women? Most women are not living their best lives. Most women are just talking crap. And I think it's important that you ladies go back and study. And I said this on Facebook earlier when I put up Grace Jones. I put that up because I really wanted to see how people were going to respond to real people. And sadly, more folks are worried about, man, she look how she look. I don't like the way she look. Dude, Grace Jones don't care whether or not you thought she looked like a man. That's some dumb shit, y'all. That's dumb. Supermodels have angular features for a reason. But I wanted to see how many women could actually go back and look at the women who they consider to be classic beauties, classic, iconic Black women, and then ask yourself, how their lives end? How are their lives ending? How are their lives ending?
Hey, Miss Apples.
How are your lives ending? And the thing is, self-love ends up as selfish
No.
for so many women, which ends up as being alone.
Peace.
Selfish
At
ends
peace.
up being alone.
No. At peace, baby. At peace.
So how can you have all this self-love and not have anybody to share your life with? No. Yeah. Self-love but alone. Hello.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm fine. Hey, I'm good.
Good. Your first name?
I'm
The lady in the hat. Your first name?
Amari.
Amari. And then ma'am, your first name?
Roxanne.
Roxanne. How old are you, Roxanne?
I'm 48.
48. So have you been did you just join the broadcast? Have you, because I've been on YouTube earlier.
Yes. I joined on Instagram.
All right. So I'm talking, and you said you're 27, how, ma'am? You're 48, and how old are you?
I'm 27.
27. All right. So I'm talking about self-love. This self-love that turns into selfishness with modern women. And I profiled Diane Carroll, who shared the fact that it took her to be an old woman and failing in 4 marriages before recognizing the reason she was alone is because she's difficult. Because she was difficult.
Difficult. Okay.
Difficult. And then I juxtaposed that with Eartha Kitt, Catwoman, sitting in a garden being interviewed, asking about could she compromise with the men, and she cackled loudly and laughed like a mad woman. With
All
this
right,
glazed look in her eye.
Dwayne.
And I'm like,
Thank
well, if
you
these
for
two women
coming.
were some of the best that ever did it, what can you learn?
Always good to see you, Wayne.
So
Thank you.
my theory, my supposition is self-love turns into selfishness, it turns into alone. What do you think?
I had 27-year-old. I'll go next. Go ahead. Okay, so what I think about self-love is, I mean, if you don't love yourself, if you don't teach the person that you're in a relationship how you love yourself, if you're reciprocating that energy, returning it back, what's wrong with self-love? I feel like it's not selfish. You sometimes have to show somebody how to love you. And then these women that have been left alone, is it because what? It's because she found out she was the problem, or is it because she was messing with a manipulator who made her seem like she was the problem because he was unfaithful or?
See, I want you to notice how well, first of all, you automatically went to why the woman left alone. She was alone because she's alone, because she's hard to deal with. That's what the woman said, because she said she was difficult. That's what she said. So let's stop trying to make men be the fault all the time. Hold on. That's what I want to do, though. I want to have conversations with women who we talk about what's going on with women, and women aren't making the cause be somebody else. We're all adults, and you're responsible for your stuff.
No. She was saying that what she said about the men is true. She's not taking back what she said about the men, but she's also showing you the part that she played, which that is how every relationship should be, because it takes 2 to tangle. She never said, because I'm difficult and these men were so good and they was the best of the best and I'm so difficult, I ran them away. That's not what she's saying. And that's not what she said. But let's go.
Now, you say it's self-love. You teach somebody how to love yourself. You teach somebody how to love you, right?
Correct.
Who taught you how to love a man?
That's that. My grandmother just told me how she stuck it out with her husband.
Oh, she told you how she stuck it out. What did your mom do?
My mother is divorced.
And your status?
I am married
Okay, how long you been married?
for 3 years.
Okay. Any children?
I have one son.
Not with your husband?
No, that was my husband from a previous relationship.
Part of the issue with the way you came in the room is you seem to lack humility, because you're talking about you. Okay, how to love myself and teach somebody, but how do you love your man? How do you love your son?
I love them how I would want to be loved. I'm patient, I'm kind, I'm caring.
But do you understand that how you want to be loved is different than a man?
Yes, totally. We have different needs. Absolutely.
Then why would you love them the way you want to be loved when you're a woman?
Because the bottom line is about respect, mutual respect, putting myself in their shoes, caring, being empathetic, patient. I mean, that's basics.
Okay. I try to be kind of delicate with married women because you're already with somebody. Someone's chosen you. I hope it works. But I will be honest, overall, the energy you're giving me is saying me first, modern woman. And it's difficult to get along with. It's about y'all. And
I don't put myself first. I'm a mother, but honestly, like my needs are met last. Just being a mom alone.
okay. I'm just going on what you've said. Okay. What do you have to say, ma'am? 48. I forgot your name. Go ahead.
And you come
Roxanne. Yeah, about things. I mean, I got a lot of things going on right now. 10,000, 18,000 people. Go ahead. What do you got to add?
You talk about celebrities that probably put monetary or material things above a relationship with a man. So any woman that puts material things or money first, they probably won't end up in a perfect situation when they get older. When they're not, men are visual, so when you get older, you don't have nothing to offer besides money or material things.
Well, why do we use celebrity?
I mean, because you give an example of celebrity.
I'm just saying, but why do we use them?
Why do you use them?
Dear, it's not just me. I didn't start this, so don't make that just me.
Okay, well, you just said Grace. You mentioned.
Yeah, because I don't know your cousin. It's somebody we all know. That's why we use celebrities. The reason we use what's
Hey, that's
we excuse me. We use what's applicable. So unless you're gonna go and look, hold on.
Okay.
I really dislike when women want to try to argue the methodologies when it's used. You're the same generation. People use athletics, entertainment, sports as comparisons for life. We use people who have a common knowledge of, because you can't speak about everybody. And you said one thing about it. Well, if you put money first, well, do you watch my program?
Yes.
Does it sound like women are putting money first these days?
I see. I don't know what to say next because you get offended pretty quick.
Does it sound like women are putting money first these days when they're looking for a man?
You said we're putting ourselves first.
Well, okay. I don't relate to those women.
He
That's
said,
all
I
I'm
don't know
saying.
your cousin.
Okay, I didn't ask if you're necessarily related to those women. That's not the question. The question is, of the hundreds, the thousands of women that have run through my show, what do most women put ahead, resource or character?
Resource on your show.
It's not just on my show, ma'am. And see, that's the problem. My show is not a microcosm. And maybe that's not because it's not your experience. You think this is not the real world. It is far more real. I move around this country and it's the same. That's why I can take calls from Maine to California and get almost a similar outcome and similar result. And women who put money first, according to you, may have such and so forth. So by extension, even the women who call into the program who are putting resource, i.e. money first, is the I mean, Chad, am I wrong? I mean, does the logic not seem to fit?
No, the logic, you said it. You said show. This is all show. Women, let's be realistic. Women, it's at the end of the day, I want to be respectful, so I want you to speak. But I just want to say that this does not relate to the actual real world of money. I think money is just a tool.
What city or state do you live in?
I'm in New York.
Oh, New York City?
Yes, close by.
So you think what you're
okay.
saying relates more to the real world than what happens with millions of people on the platform?
It relates to more real women, not the real world, but real women.
Who's calling into my show every night? Celebrities?
I don't know. Just I'm here and there. Okay, because this is off topic, but
Man, but before you do that, you keep saying so either you don't watch.
I do.
Okay, so
you say a lot of.
But the women who call into my show,
baby.
do you think they are a representative sampling of what the dating market is in this country?
Yes, I believe that it is.
Then these are the real women. If it's a representative sampling.
That doesn't mean that because it's a representative sampling that it's the real women. It's just like.
What does it mean? If it's representative, what does it mean? What does representative mean?
It means a lot of people think the same, but they don't represent me. I don't.
Okay, let's start right here. Let's start right here. This is one of these logical fallacies that women pull today. It's because you don't represent me or because you don't talk to each and every individual. It's not valid. Are generalizations valid? Excuse me. Are generalizations valid for a conversation?
If it applies.
Okay, if it applies. So in order for it to apply, it needs to be 50.1% or more one way than the other. True or false?
True.
Okay, so what you're seeing are generalizations that you may not apply to you, but it is valid. Just because you may be in the 1% or the 2% over here, we're talking about the greater percentage of people. And my thing is why I don't understand why women around your age are still trying to split the hair. Does it matter if it doesn't represent you? What I think, I think you should probably look at it and say, you know what? Why is this happening every night and I seem to be over here? What's the disconnect?
I know what the disconnect is.
What is that?
Truthfully, it's just people in general, just not listening to everyone's following what everyone else is doing and not being true or genuine to themselves. So, of course, if one woman says, okay, I need this type of person, and this person is high in stature and popularity, then everyone wants to want what that person wants. But one thing does not fit for everyone.
Ma'am, where can you go where one thing fits for everyone?
The way y'all make it sound.
On social media.
No. I want to know where you can go to where one thing fits for everyone, because that makes no sense to me. It never does when say one thing doesn't fit for everyone. Where do you go where one-stop shop is for everybody? Where is that? Where does that exist in life?
Well, you just said over 50%.
Ma'am, that's not what I know. That over 50% is not one for everyone. I'm not arguing. I'm just saying that I'm trying to, and the thing is, okay, here's what I find frustrating with women our generation. It's we don't have much life left. And it's like, are you married?
I was.
So you're not married now. Okay. Do you want to live the rest of your life by yourself?
No.
So what's the plan to get with somebody?
Well, apparently, I was with my husband for almost 30 years. My first boyfriend at 16. So to be single at this age is crazy because there's not relationships, there's other stuff going on that I'm not familiar with. So my plan is to maybe hopefully some I don't know. I just go with the flow and see what happens.
That's a good way to die alone.
I got more,
That's a good way to die alone. And see, the thing is, you're going with the flow, but your flow seems to be you were in a bubble. And what you've described is people are just followers and they're sheep. So what? And I think that's a very, very arrogant thing for someone to say, especially someone who ain't been out here. But I let you say it because I talked about humility. But you're not, because you're talking about something you're not. You just how long have you been out here?
They go since 5 years. So.
5 years, but you were in a relationship since 16. So, ma'am, arguably you've been in a bubble. You don't know. And if the world, and to you, this sounds like, well, this, and I lived in New York, dear. Got news for you. You're the one that's the odd duck.
Yes, I am.
Right. So understand, maybe, just maybe.
Old school romantic.
Well, that's okay, but how's that going to work in this world unless you find? So if you're an old school romantic, did your husband pass? Did your husband pass?
Huh?
Did your husband pass? Good luck with that. Old school romantic, out of touch. That's fine. I mean, hey, because I think it's interesting that I was saying this the other night, and I was saying the reason I don't date women my age. You're too difficult. Women, and that is more than generally true. I said your age, man. I didn't say you. See, here's the thing, ma'am. There's a generalization and there's you. If it's not you, let it go. I said your age. And the reason men my age don't tend to date women our age is because women our age tend to be difficult. And go with the flow is what we really want. And I think it's funny because if you go back on the show I did Friday night, I talked to a woman that was 52 and a woman that's 42. And you look in the comment section and you will listen to how exhausting it was to talk to them. Then I had a woman call in that was 23 and 24, and they were both like, thank you. Listening to you, now I'm on a better track because I don't want to be that.
Exactly, Blanche.
Young women are seeing the outcomes women today over 40 have, and they are rejecting them. They don't want it. So if that's not you, cool. But and if you're going to be dating, you need to know what the dating market is, because if you want to date age appropriate, it may be difficult to find a Generation X man to date because of the market. This is why I'm starting to see, I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's a trend, especially with women of a higher socioeconomic status in their 40s, they're tending to start dating young men. Have you noticed that? And why is it? Because they cannot date men on the same socioeconomic status in the same age range. So they got to date down. So anyway, okay, good conversation. I hope it works out for you. I certainly do. Everybody, I think it's interesting that we are just, so many people today just seem to, I don't know, women are just like resistant to, they're all special snowflakes. That's another thing I want to talk about. Me, the me generation. One of the things that is so frustrating with women today, men are so frustrated with the fact that you're all special.
Yeah.
No one can say anything. It always depends. There's no box. Women don't want to be categorized. You can't speak for all. One of the biggest things I hear from my female critics and detractors is you lump all women into this or that. I got news for you. You are all this or that. You fit in a box somewhere. And it is time out for women over 40 in particular to stop thinking you're all special snowflakes. You are more alike than you are different. But I want you to go back to the show I did on Friday and show that was what was happening. And why do women I think want to do that? It's because if they can do that, they can actually ask for higher price. They can ask for more. I mean, it's wise. Hello? Hello?
Hey, Kevin. Hi.
Hi, Karma, you didn't say hello.
Hello.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay. A little bit too young for this one. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I am well. So we're talking about self-love and modern women. But have you guys watched the broadcast from the beginning?
Not from the beginning. I tuned in like 15 minutes ago.
All right. Did you have a question or anything that you wanted to ask? Because I did something on YouTube first. Is there something you wanted to ask?
Like, there's a lot of stuff that I feel like I agree with.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I feel like we can work on as modern women. And I just really want to tune in on the conversation of whatever you guys want to ask.
Okay. Okay, let me bring some other folks in because, go ahead. Do what? Well, you don't have a question.
I mean, we want to, so this is the question. So we're 30 years old. So I'm 30, I'm 29. I just turned 30 this year. And I hear you talk a lot about, like, from the time that that I did chime in, I hear you talk a lot about women our age or, I understand like we appreciate, but I feel like the generation that we live in currently, when it comes to like men our age, I feel like the generation has twisted like so drastically from like the 90s when I was growing up that it's a lot harder for women to get these kind of guys.
Get what kind of guys?
I feel like
Get what kind of guys we're talking about?
I'm talking about a kind of guy that just earns an honest living, like not a drug dealer type of guy. Somebody that wants more for themselves, that sees more for themselves. Because as far as me, like I'm not in the position that I would have hoped I would be in at 29, but I still see more for myself.
Okay, so I'm trying to narrow it down to have a better conversation. What kind of men are we talking about? Do either one of you had kids? You do? Both of you have kids?
No, I don't.
So, to the woman without children, what kind of man are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about a man that, has an honest living, makes, 75 to $1,000 a year, can provide for him.
$75,000 to $100,000 a year?
I'm sorry?
You said 75,000 to 100,000? Is that what you said?
Take care, see.
Not and even not just work, hard work. At the end of the day.
What state are you in? What state are you in?
We're in Ohio.
What kind of You're 29, the woman without children, or you 30?
I'm 30.
Okay, so the woman without children, what kind of professions would a man, what kind of job titles would a man need to have to make $75,000 to $100,000 a year?
You could be like an accountant, a bank manager.
Bank manager?
Yeah.
Okay, what are some other ones?
You can work in IT.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Do what now?
field, in the medical field.
Okay. Ohio, the Midwest. Why do you need? What percentage of men make $100,000?
In Ohio.
No, period. No, it's the same. It's the same nationwide.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
What's the percentage of men that make $100,000 or more? It's the same percentage nationwide.
I'm not sure.
Just guess.
And just nationwide in Ohio.
Nationwide. That's the number we use.
40%? 60? 40?
60% of men make 40 to 60% of men earn $100,000 or more. So that means if you walk out on the streets, 4 or 6 out of 10 men earn 6 figures.
Okay, well, so in that case, you're saying.
Well, the first thing you said, these men are hard to find. So the first thing we need to do is identify what we're talking about, what kind of money we're talking about, what kind of jobs we're talking about, and how prevalent those jobs are. Man, 10% of men make that kind of money. And the biggest one you didn't mention is trucking. But in Ohio, in the Midwest, that is a low percentage of 6-figure earners. Why do you need a man making 6 figures?
I don't feel like I need it. And I do have a
Go ahead.
With a almost 5-year-old son.
Mm-hmm. Without just those metrics alone, it's inconclusive. Your child is 5?
Yeah, he'll be 5 in November.
How long were you with the father?
I was with him for about a year and a half.
And why didn't you guys marry?
It's like he's kind of, yeah, I mean, he's messed up. It's kind of like an issue with drugs and other things. I really can't do anything about that. You know, at the end of the day, I have to move on with me and my child and do what's best for us.
It depends. I mean, first of all, so it does matter who your child is, and it matters who his father is. It does, because any man coming in, it has to deal with your child and a father. And as someone who's done that, that's one thing that men overwhelmingly don't want to deal with: children, or especially children with problematic fathers. And it also depends on the level you're talking about. If you're talking about men at the upper ends of income, not really. It's not really realistic. The average black man in this country earns about $41,000 a year. That's $20, roughly $20 an hour. And I don't understand why so many women today who come from middle-class families want these top 10% men when that's not what your family is or your grandparents. Why go so high?
I just like I can't even find like
What is that? What is that? I don't know what that level is.
I just feel like I can't find a man that's just like working, making an honest living that actually is a relationship. Like,
well, where are you going? Where are you going? Well, first off, what's your profession?
So I work for New York Life.
Okay. All right. Where are you going to interact or meet men?
Honestly, don't get out that much.
Well, that's the problem. You can't catch what you don't fish for.
Right. I don't get
Well, and it's not going to get any better. So this is why women tend to get so upset when I mention children, because like, well, I have a kid and I can't just undo this. But the structural things that come along with meeting men require time. So I said early on in the broadcast, the number one, the outside of the what you bring to the table, the asset men want most from women is your time. You don't have time to give. How much time do you have to give to a man? So, and you're saying men at the top level, man. First off, Ohio's not a good state to be in as far as top earners. But why do you need a man that's up there?
Well, I'm not necessarily saying at the top level, honestly. 50, 60,000, 50, 60,000, but it's like about being a hard worker. And I feel like a lot of guys that I come across like a facade.
Where do you go to meet men?
I go out to the local, to local spots, even when I'm out of town. I travel.
Okay, you have no children. Move. I can't make grass grow in the shade. I mean, single men, are especially upwardly mobile men, are congregated roughly in 10 cities. I'm from Oklahoma. I can't make Oklahoma be what it's not. So it's not a problem with the men. It's the problem with the men in your local area. That's number one. Number two, it's the lack of activity. I don't think many women today are really serious, moving with a sense of urgency, just kind of hoping it happens. Three, if I put you in a room with the kind of men you're talking about, are you what they want? And overwhelmingly, what men want from women is cooperation and femininity. So if you had to rank your level of femininity on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, where would you rank your level of femininity? You cut out.
I would say mine's both, because I'm in charge. Like, I do everything. I'm like,
okay, so that means you're going to attract a feminine man. You, ma'am. 20.
I think mine is in the middle, like a 5.
Okay.
I don't mind, I don't mind, like, agreeing to certain things when it comes to, my man or allowing.
Well, in the middle is women who that. Well, see, I think that what Black women call in the middle is really closer to a 3. Because in the middle are women that are just easy to get along and friendly. Yeah. Feminine women that are higher are much more cooperative and agreeable. In our community, women were raised to work and take care of themselves. You weren't raised to be feminine. So it's not. So what I'm trying to show is the issue is.
What is your meaning of feminine and cooperative? You will have to break that down for some people, for some women, and for some men. Because if you're coming at a woman like you're a tyrant and then you're asking for cooperation, it's not going to work. Now, if it's okay that baby, he's working and you want to cook and clean and make sure he's good, and if he says something that is logical and is best for you and the family, that's being cooperative. But you can't tell women to automatically follow men unless they are a man. And I am going to go back and do his videos when he was talking about the men, so you can get a contrast of what he say about men and then what he say about women. You have to pick and choose, you know, who deserves what. Because up you're not guaranteed to find a husband. You guaranteed to get a man, you guaranteed to get laid. Some people don't even get that. But most likely you are guaranteed for that. So up until somebody says the word, I marry you, what does a woman do with her life? Exactly. All men are not qualified to lead. But what is a woman supposed to do with her life until a man says to her, because you could be feminine all you want. And you cannot say all feminine women have men. That is not true. You could be feminine, but it got to be something about you. You can't say all women that's cooperative got a man. That is not true. So, what are the men supposed to do until they find a woman? And they got to live their lives. That's what they supposed to do. Live their lives. In order to live your life, you have to work. You got to feed yourself. You got to have some place to stay. You got to pay for rent. These things don't come free. And you can't think because I'm so pretty and I'm feminine and I'm a woman's woman, I'm definitely qualified to get a man. I got my face made up, my hair, my weave done, I got the best wig out there. That don't guarantee you a man neither. Because guess what? There's a lot of women out there that are beautiful. There's a lot of women out there that are feminine, keep themselves up to par, who don't have a man. Hey, it is what it is.
Far more on you ladies' side than it is on the men's side. Because the men do exist. It's just, are you in a position to find them and are you what they want? Because if I put you there, they got to pick you. And Ohio is the Midwest. It's difficult. So this is what I would suggest. I would suggest really looking to relocate if you're single and if you have a child. I know it sucks, but I can't change the structural things. So, all right, ladies, have a good. Thank you very much. Have a good night. All right, bye bye. Yeah, the Midwest is hard. The Midwest life is tough, guys. I'm having my focus group tomorrow. I'm having my focus group tomorrow for the women here in Atlanta, and then it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. Let's go on. If you've already been on, please allow other people to come on, please. The selfishness of women today is what we're talking about. Self-love is turned into selfishness. It's turned into self-aggrandizement. Hello? How are you?
I'm great. Okay. Yeah, good. I'm on.
Huh?
This whole topic, Kevin. I gotta address something.
Whoa. You've already been on once, right?
Okay, so I'm a size 16.
Hold on. You've already been on. Just a second. Let me get to the other lady.
All right, you ready?
How old are you, ma'am?
I am turning 35 on Monday.
All right. So, are you single or are you married?
I am single.
Any children?
Yes, I have a daughter.
Enjoy 2 pancakes, 2 eggs your way, and 2 pieces of bacon for only $5. The 2x2x2 from IHOP. Hurry in and enjoy this deal for a limited time. Download the app and earn free food with every order.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places in the U.S.
And she's 4.
All right. So, what kind of relationship are you looking for, if any?
Yeah, I'm not looking for a relationship right now.
You're 34, 35? Okay, so when you're 55 years old, what do you want your social life to look like?
Well, at 55, I believe I'll be married for sure. Since right now, I don't want a relationship.
Were your parents married?
Are my parents married?
Were they married? Huh?
Oh yeah, they're married. They've been married for like 45 years.
And so how do you plan on getting married?
Well, I'm trying to get back in dating soon. Currently, I'm not like wanting to be in a relationship right now. I just feel like I need to focus on myself. So I got on the topic because you were saying like women doing self-love and self-care.
Mm-hmm.
I'm nervous.
That's okay.
Being, like selfish, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like
I know, right, Nicole?
It is selfish. Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, it's selfish in the sense that you have a child. And life is about more than just self. That's what it comes. I mean, life is about people, and all this self. See, what women tend to not focus on is it's not just like a switch you can turn on and off.
I feel like I do that. Though.
Well, but no, you don't. Well, see, here's what it is right now. You don't know because you're not out there. But let's say, just like so many women were told, there's so many women were told to go to college, get a degree, and then when you get ready to have a relationship, go find a man. That ain't working because it's not that simple. Of course, but all the stuff you got your master's for is what? What did you do all that for?
Well, I was at school, so
all right. Okay, that's fine. You could be educated and know what's going on out here.
Yeah.
But what was the end goal of getting all that education?
Absolutely nothing. I'm not doing anything in my degree. I mean, I have an MBA, so yes, I am in business. I do business things, but I'm like not excelling in this field. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like my degree was like.
So so the way men listen, the way men hear that. Hold on. The way men hear that is it was a waste of time.
It's a possibility, but it wasn't really like taking up all my time when I was.
Okay. Oh, it's still. You ladies, y'all don't understand how we look at things, and this is why when I tell you, you say I want to be married by 55. Okay. You can't even let me finish the conversation. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. You ain't gonna be married by 55. There's a dog and a tombstone in your future.
What? Oh, I don't like dogs.
Well, buy a cat, man, because a man damn sure ain't in it, man. Because I want you to understand. That you can be right, but I'm gonna tell you, I talk to women every night, and I'm saying that I know the men that you ladies are going to have to deal with. And they look at women who go to school to get their masters, and all men are saying is, you know, when women say you need a man on your level, gentlemen, start asking them what their net worth is. Trust me, plenty of women do that. Plenty of women do it. Maybe not you eat the meats without the bones. It doesn't matter if it's not you. Doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, ma'am, what makes you so confident that when you decide you're ready for a relationship, that you're going to? How long do you think it'll take you to find a husband when you decide you're ready?
Well, I would say I feel like it's a 5-year process at least. Like it should be within 5 years.
Within 5 years of meeting somebody?
No, I'm just saying I mean, based on the relationship, you just never know. But I'm saying for sure, like a guarantee, I say it would be at least 5 years to at least say I found this guy. We've been knowing each other this 5 years, and we could get married between this time.
So it's going to take at least 5 years after you find somebody.
Not find somebody, actually just get married.
Right.
I feel like I can find somebody. I feel like I can find somebody.
So if you found somebody, so let's say, listen what I'm asking. I'm sure I'm hearing what you're hearing. Let's just say today, for sake of argument, okay? Let's just say today, for the sake of argument. Let's just say today you were ready to be in a relationship, and if you found somebody tomorrow, how long do you think it would take you before you were married to the person you're ready to be with and you found them tomorrow?
I would say to be married for real, 5 years.
All right. So this is why you won't be married. Because number one, ain't no man worth marrying gonna wait no damn 5 years to marry no older woman. Number one, ma'am. 5 years is ridiculously long time to be dealing with somebody and not married. See, this is why I want you to, and this is why this is this self-love stuff, because self-love puts you ladies in what I call your queen energy, where y'all don't take in new information. Y'all think y'all know everything. And what you can make is debt and babies. But you can't make relationships and marriages. You can't make families. You can't make communities. Y'all can make talking points and memes. So 5 years, you're 35, and you say, I'll be married by 55. It's going to take you 5 years from the day you meet a person that is ready to be married. Why does it need to be 5 years if you're ready to be?
It could be anything. There's so many
See,
possibilities.
thank you. You can't make it up. It's so many possibilities. It's infinite. We're all special snowflakes, guys. This is why I tell women, why do you know? Because I listen. Yellow, it's the same pattern. It's the same pattern. It's just stuck in a loop. The possibilities are infinite. It's always possible. My truth, my this, my that. You can't define me. I know what I'm manifesting. It's just gobbledygook. It's voodoo. It's the same shit, different woman. It'll work in 5 years. So you'll have so your kid will be 5. Somebody's going to marry a single mother and wait 5 years. Will they get you want any more kids?
I wouldn't mind having a son, but it just depends on the time and my age as well.
Do you want to have the child before or after marriage?
Honestly, it just depends on the person I'm with and the relationship that we have.
Okay, let me ask a really serious question, okay? Do you feel like women should have a level of seriousness, structure, foresight, and planning in how they live their life?
Yes.
At what age do you think that should start?
Where they're actually knowing where they're going and knowing what they want to
At
do.
what age do you think that should start?
I feel like you should definitely be doing that by 25 or 27.
Have you started that?
As far as like relationship, no.
Okay, that's what I meant. Man, when I said all that stuff, that's what I said. That's all that's in relationships.
Oh, okay. Right now,
No. So you're 35. You haven't put any structure, foresight, planning. Or when do you plan on starting?
Yeah.
So I want folks to understand why I don't tend to date women over 35. And I'll tell you why. It's because it doesn't mean you're bad people. It's just you're either too out there, you resist structure planning. It's just go with the flow. And what it really comes down to, a lot of you ladies are driven by fear. Because if you really trusted something was going to work and be good for you, you wouldn't wait 5 years to do it.
This is a fact. Honestly, if something outstanding happened in my life and it happened, I would definitely jump on board and all the rules would be gone.
Well, that's what I wanted you guys. That's why I played the Diane Carroll video. It is up to you, not up to somebody to fix that. That's why Diane Carroll was so important to lead out. Remember, 4 marriages? And she said, the reason I have to get comfortable living alone at this age is because I'm difficult. I'm difficult to live with because I'm a difficult person. You didn't see the video. And she said, basically, you know what? It's me to make myself happy, not somebody else. So, man, but all this stuff you talked about right now, you're 35, marriage by 55, it's a nice, it's a dream.
Well, what if I get married at
See, I want you to understand this is this may sting a little bit, man, but a 35-year-old woman, y'all sound like 14-year-olds. But what if you're almost 40, you're halfway, you're closer to 40 than you are to 30. And y'all talk like y'all are young girls. You're somebody's whole mother. What if I get married by 40? My daughter, when she was in high school, they talk like that. And you have a son?
No, I don't. I have a daughter. She's 4.
Okay. When your daughter, what are you going to teach your daughter a man's purpose in her life is?
I would say definitely to protect her and secure her and preserve her as well.
What are you going to teach your daughter her purpose in a man's life is?
To be loving and nurturing and building a family.
How are you going to demonstrate both of these things to your daughter?
That's what I'm going to work on. I just haven't put too much effort in it.
At what age do you think your daughter starts looking for these things?
Oh, I feel like it would be happening honestly right now even.
Right. So if that's the case, and listen, ma'am, that's why I said this self-love is so selfish, because your daughter's looking for the things you said you're going to teach her right now, but you ain't the least bit worried about them right now. So that means you can't teach her. You can't demonstrate it because you're worried about yourself. You focused on yourself. So by extension, you're not teaching your daughter what her purpose is in a man's life and a man's purpose is in her life. See how that works? So when I said self-love is not good for the kid, because you have a whole child. All right, well, hope this helped to the audience. I appreciate it. Have a good one. So, and see, the thing is, I'm not supposed to say that, but it's like, when do y'all start worrying about anybody? It's like me. That's the me's are out here. It's strong. Me, I. And that doesn't mean that you don't have a life, but what it's supposed to mean is you're supposed to have a kid with your husband. So that means, hello.
How you doing?
I'm okay. How old are you?
24.
All right. I'm talking about this. You have any children?
Yes.
Do you have your children? How many children do you have?
I have 1.
All right. Have you been on here before?
No, I watch you all the time.
Okay. So what do you have on the topic? What did you want to add?
I'm sorry.
Okay. You don't know the topic? Yeah, I can't bring you up to speed, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay, you too now. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Hello. Hello? Not paying attention. All right, so hello. You got to take your headphones off. They won't work. You got to take those things off. They won't work. They won't work. Take them off. So I think it's interesting that, did you guys know that the Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Hello? Ma'am, I can't, Roe v. So that's gone. So now you better start making better choices, gentlemen. Hello, how are you, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How old are you?
I just turned
29. What do you got for me on the topic?
I don't know. I didn't expect to be on, but I've been listening the whole time.
Okay.
I would consider myself like a modern woman, but I agree with like a bunch of the things that you say.
Well, we're talking about self-love being selfish. What do you think about that?
I think to a certain certain degree, it is selfish. I was doing the whole like probably self-love thing before I started listening to you, and I noticed that I was like pretty selfish in all of my actions, and you know, it's that it is masculine energy to only focus on yourself, making money, taking care of what you gotta take care of, and you don't have enough time to.
It gets tiring. Let me. Hello, how at the bottom? How are you, ma'am? With the glasses.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How old are you?
I'm 26.
26 and above you, ma'am. Hello, in the green.
I don't think her audio.
Yeah, your audio is not working. You're gonna have to bounce back and come back in. So you're 26. Okay. So what do you think about this whole self-love thing?
I agree with your point about the fact that like our generation of women weren't necessarily taught how to be feminine, and like a lot of the push has been more about like focusing on your career, focusing on establishing yourself. And I feel like I'm kind of guilty of that. Like my focus has always been about my career.
Harvest Snaps are uniquely crunchified and irresistibly taste-tastic. Snap up the goodness.
I feel like I'm pretty well established. Like I don't have kids or anything like that, but I definitely feel like I'm getting towards that age where like.
And you're 26?
I'm sorry?
You're 26? I'm 20.
Yes.
And you're 29? The other lady? And you're,
yes.
Okay, do either one of you want to be married?
Yes.
Okay, by what age? 26. By what age would you like to be married?
So that was the weird part. So when I was growing up, I'd always tell myself like 27, 29, that was when I wanted to get married. And now it's kind of like I'm forcing myself to push it out to 35, but ideally I would like to get married by 30.
Okay.
But it just doesn't seem.
29, by what age do you want to be married?
I would like to be married by like 32, 33.
Are you seeing anyone seriously?
No, not at the moment.
So now the work starts. So my question to you and all the ladies in the audience, all this self-love, going to get my education and this and that, all of it's meant so you can have resources to do what? Because now we get to the point in our relationship and it's like you got this, but not that. How are you going about? Go ahead.
I mean, it's hard. Like I am in a profession where I make enough money to like, I've heard you have the conversation with them and like, can you afford to be alone like for the rest of your life? I'm blessed enough to be in a profession where I can. So I don't necessarily fit in that category, but that doesn't mean I, don't want a man or that it's not important to me anymore. It's just that when you're talking about women, talking about people that are on her level, necessarily for me, it's not a financial thing, but it is the character that I'm really looking for.
What is that? Okay, so you know what I'm going to ask? Do you want to be a working mom or do you want to be a stay-at-home mom?
I don't think I'd be comfortable like not working ever again, but I definitely want to stay home with my kids at least until they hit like, that school age where I can work while they're at school and then. School
age meaning what? Kindergarten? I don't know what that means. How many kids do you want?
I want one.
Oh. That's selfish. That's selfish. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah. Just look up all these. No, I am too, and that's bad.
Yeah, I'm not saying I stop at one. I'm just saying like.
You said you want one. That's bad. Yeah, no. We're already going down a bad hill. You're already going down a bad hill.
What? Willing to have two?
Willing to have.
Yeah, like I would like two. I just like one would be I like.
Why don't you want more than one child?
Why would I want?
Why not more than one child? What's the thought process?
I like my relationship with my parents. I like how close our family was. I like I don't know.
We're really not. We're really not a family. We don't have enough kids. We're not a family. I'm an only child too. That's a lie. You're the only person. Yes. You like a lot of attention, and you get all the attention when you're the only child because there's nobody else.
I agree. You do get a lot of attention.
Okay, but what if the kind of men how many men do you know that say you only want one kid?
I've only met like a very small.
Okay, then that's already going to be a problem.
Yeah. No, I'm not limited. Like I said, I'm open to more. I just, I like.
See, I'm gonna tell you right now, when women say they're open to more, that just puts you guys up. When you have to be open to something, we don't want to hear shit from you. We want the women that are already expected to come. That side chick, have fun with you. But if you got to be open to shit, I want women who are raised for it, who got a plan for it. It's like women like, I'm open to being submissive. I'm open to this. No.
No. I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying, like, when I was growing up, I was like, oh, I love my family. I love what we've created here. We're very tight knit. And I think I have a great family. My parents are married. They've been married for years. So, what I know, that's what I know.
Yeah, I also know only child syndrome. It's not a good thing. How many kids do you want to have, ma'am? How many kids would you like to have?
I would say 3 is like a nice target, but I'm open to that number fluctuating.
Yeah, I mean, one kid really ain't no family, man. That's too much damn pressure. Look at what's going on in China. The one child policy is ruining that country. It's a lot of pressure for one kid.
I didn't have pressure. I really didn't. I didn't have pressure. You are lonely? No, my experience, I will say, I've met only child, but it's a different experience. They have the syndrome, 100% agree. I just had a good experience.
I have a great experience, but it was still empty. You don't, okay. I don't know any only child that does not understand how empty it was. And that okay, either way, it's fine. But here's the reality. Here's the reality. Don't give a shit what you want. It's about what your husband wants. If he wants kids and you're not going to have, and I'm telling you this, I'll be open to more. It sounds selfish to men. For whatever your reason is, it's like, what do you got to do that's more important than have my kids?
No, nothing.
That's what men are thinking.
Well, I mean, I hear the opposite when women say that they want 3, and then you bash them for like, how much do they need to pay?
Oh, don't bash shit. I just do the math.
Right, and so then they realize that like, oh, maybe 3 is a little bit too extreme for what I want.
No, it's not no, understand the disconnect. I want to be really clear because it's dangerous what you just said.
Okay.
I don't listen. Okay, but I want you to understand. The reason I let women understand is because they're not in the position to pay for the kids. When most women today talk about children, they talk about children in the selfie mode. They don't think about the math mode. They think about not the kids. I say, do you want your kids to be able to go to college? Yes. Do you want to be able to travel domestically and nationally? They want luxury life. If I met a woman who said, I want 3 kids and I could live at an average man's salary and we budget like the rest of the freaking country and I would be happy and submit and we'd be good, that's no problem. It's not the kids. It's the lifestyle they want with the kids because then so. Go ahead.
What is your advice if
Well, you make them.
The woman
you
is
carry them.
making enough money and creating the lifestyle that she would want for her family, but there's not like a lot of men out there that can kind of
lower your lifestyle. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Ladies want to know. Here's my advice. Lower your lifestyle to match your sexual marketplace value because that's the kind of man you're going to attract. This is a problem too many women have today. Women today, not you, I'm just gonna say women today are going out and creating the kind of lifestyle I want, but the lifestyle you want has to match the man that can afford that. Because unless when a woman is in a position to be the breadwinner, inevitably you start hearing women talk about, I feel like I got another kid. There's a disrespect that comes along. Why can't women, I want to know why our women cannot live at $41,000 a year, because that's what the average black man makes. And the average white man makes 52. The average Hispanic man makes 36. So we're.
Is that not like based off of where you live though? Because I know it's super hard to live off of 40K in Atlanta.
No, it's not.
It feels like it, rent is super high here.
Were your mother and father married?
No, but my
Stop. So how did they do it before then?
I feel like the cost of living was a little bit lower.
No, it's not. Okay, no. Man, I want you to think about what you're saying. How many, if the national average for a four person family is 42,000 total, where are you talking about rent in Atlanta? What neighborhoods?
Well, see, I mean, most of my parents were near. So
What neighborhoods are you talking about when you say living in Atlanta? What neighborhoods?
So when I was thinking, I'm talking about like living in like Buckhead, Vinings area, like closer to the inside of the perimeter.
You are how old again?
26.
And your profession?
I'm an engineer.
When you're in Buckhead, how many 26-year-olds are living there?
A lot. All my friends are engineers. That's why I'm saying like maybe my vantage point is a little bit different.
But I'm saying, man, I live in okay. No, first off, Buckhead ain't where we supposed to be living anyway. You're too young to afford Buckhead. Buckhead is where you get to when you in your 40s. You get a starter home. See, we got our generation, your generation, they want to go directly from college to Buckhead. And I'm like, when I was your age, I was like when I got out of school, I didn't finish engineering, but I went to work because I got sick. But I still worked I got in engineering. I worked in research engineering. So I'm working in a lab and I'm making good money in Houston. I'm living in an efficiency apartment with furniture from IKEA and a Ford truck because you got to start up. Y'all are trying to do too much in your 20s.
Yeah, I mean, I ended up buying a house.
Oh, Jesus, that was the next fucking word out of my mouth. Y'all are trying to buy homes, and this is what makes you unattractive. Gentlemen, start asking, when women ask you where they work, ask them how much they charge for submission, and then ask them, what is their net? Do they have a negative net worth? Because all these masters and bachelors and masters and PhDs and everything else, all that shit don't matter. You're making 75, 80. What is your net worth? And I'm going to guarantee you, you're all in debt. Do you have student loan debt? You have student loan debt? How much? Over 5 figures?
I have 60K.
Over 5 figures. And then you have a mortgage. That's more debt. It's like, why aren't you living in an apartment somewhere?
Yeah. And I guess my thinking, I was like, I know I was going to be in Atlanta for a while. When I looked at what my rent was versus what my mortgage is now, it's cheaper. So I thought it was a better option.
Then why don't you see lots of unmarried, non-Black women doing the same thing? Why don't you see them running out to buy houses in their early 20s? Because they're more focused on trying to get a husband.
Yeah.
So the question was the cost of living. You automatically, Buckhead ain't where you need to be. How many men who are engineers have homes in Buckhead at your age?
Not many of them. And no, I wasn't talking about me.
But I'm just saying in general. So what I'm saying is, one of the good things I think people should, because a lot of folks didn't take home ec. And if you're in your 20s and you're making an engineer, you're making double what most folks are making. You're not living in reality. So when you meet a man who's making, middle income, he can't afford your level of living. He may be a hardworking, decent man, but like it or not, ladies, you got to look in the mirror, and that's what you can afford to get on the market. That's what you can afford to get. What's in the mirror? Bucket naked, your natural hair out the shower. And I wish I could actually put a formula to it so I could say, that's what, that's what when we do the archetype, like this is what it is, because as an engineer, would you be able to date a man Would you look at a man making $40,000 a year? That's all he's gonna make, ma'am. He's not. I don't want to hear he's ambitious and all this other bullshit. He's.
That's what I'm saying. I have dated guys that, make around that salary range, and I feel like it always becomes a problem that, like, I make more or, like, I'm not in a position where I need them, and I've never been the type of person that's like, a guy has to have this, and this in order for me to look at them. I just feel like it always.
Well, if my show would have been around when you were 19 years old, you'd have heard you better find a boyfriend in school before you graduate and get married. Better find it. But because now you're out of school and you can't get me at that level. You got to get me in the sexual marketplace value, and there's going to be a mismatch. There's going to be a mismatch because there is what's called mate value. And 29 at the and what do you do for a living?
I know. but I'm also a soccer coach. Like, it's not. I went to law school to.
Are you a Delta?
No, sir.
AKA?
No, I was a soccer player.
All right. So, Ebony the attorney, why do you think I dropped my head when I said attorney? It wasn't because men. Why do you think that? Why do you think of them? But do you think what I'm saying mirrors the real world?
I do, and that's why, like, people call me crazy when I talk about you or talk about your content a lot, and they're like,
who calls you crazy?
People that don't listen.
Are they successfully married in healthy relationships?
Some of them are. Some of them are. I have some friends that are married and have kids, and but specifically, I like to talk to the single ones about you.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to put them on to some knowledge here that I wish I would like.
Well, here's what you do. Don't bring that stress to yourself. Just watch, and then once you get married, then they'll be like, "How did that happen?" That dude you didn't want to listen to. Okay, so why is it that non-Black attorneys who are female can seem to get married in their late 20s? And it seems to be prohibitive for Black women.
I don't think it's prohibited. I do, like, I have a community here of Black women in Miami that are attorneys. And I will say, just, we have, like, there's just some I know, just that I went to law school with. It's not like me hanging out or anything. It's just.
But you're in Miami.
I am Miami.
Ma'am, it is prohibitive for Black women who are attorneys married. So I'm saying it's not because you're an engineer or a doctor or a dentist or a pharmacist. It's our culture.
It's good for the conversation.
And you're in Miami and an attorney is a female. That's going to be.
Are you talking to that girl? Yeah, it's still good for the conversation, I guess.
Be really challenging to find a mate.
Well, I'll say this: like, I consider myself pretty realistic for my sexual market value. Like, I'm not going to sit there and say I'm 10. I think I attract who I'm attracted to, and it generally works out. And I've had the spectrum of men on the scale of what they make as well.
Okay.
So, like, I've had men that make way more than me, and I've had men that make way less than me.
Okay.
And for me, it's not about that. It's about character. Like, I want.
Well, you're in the wrong city for character.
Well, yeah, I don't. The men I've been dating don't live in Miami.
Okay. When you leaving?
I'm sorry.
When you leaving?
When am I leaving Miami? When I find a reason worth leaving. I mean, I meet a lot of people here in Miami because they come here, especially.
She's not listening. 26. You're not listening.
I'm not listening.
No, dear. Listen to me, okay? You're the youngest you're ever gonna be, right? In Miami, by virtue of what it is. 20 years ago, I wouldn't say this, but Miami is not a relationship. I've spent 6 months, 6 different trips down there. And every time I go, I see more and more and more beautiful women, and they're all saying the same thing. Miami is not a place where people go to do relationships. Miami and Las Vegas are the same. And Miami's worse because you got so many people down there fronting. People are having a good time. You get a lot of game. and your clock is ticking. So why Miami if you know it's not putting you in geography? Yes, long distance relationships can be done for a short period of time. It'd be far better to live in Austin. If you're realistic, you got to be realistic with your geography too. I'm just saying that you got to be realistic with your geography because Miami. Whoo. Anyway.
I was going to ask you. So let's say you do have that spectrum of because it sounds like she's maybe in the same place that financially you're not looking for a man to make more than you, and you're not necessarily.
What's the question? Make it quick question. What's the question?
You're not turning your nose up either at the 41,000.
Okay.
Is there a point where you still have to quote unquote settle for something, even though it's still not fulfilling those characteristics that you're looking for?
I don't understand. I mean, so I'm not clear. How understanding money? If you're okay with a man who's earning average income,
right,
then you have a broader selection to pick on character.
Right, I agree.
Okay, then what's the question?
Well, I'm saying with women who have strong character and strong work ethic, I think that's kind of where we're having the trouble with dating, is that there's a lot to choose from when you're being realistic about your sexual market value and you don't have these high standards.
No, it's not really. Not really. It's not really a lot to choose from. You start with let's assume you're a wife. You start with the men who want to be husbands.
Right.
That drops the pool drastically. Dating, the pool is 100. I'm dating. I'm a wife, and I'm dating with the intent strictly to be married. Okay, cool. Do you want to be married? Good. In what time frame? 2 to 4 years? Click. 4 to 5 years? Click. When do you want in 12 to 24 months? All right, 12 to 24 months. Your pool is all of a sudden. Your pool is based upon what you perceive as character, and then everything else. I'm talking about who are the men who want the outcomes you want. And I don't know many men who run down to Miami who look for wives.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I hear you on the geography part.
Well, I'm just saying, so
it's almost finished. But unfortunately, there are regular men who live in Miami who've been living there for a long time. And people are married in Miami. You think people just moved to Miami? No, people been living in Miami like any other state. And yes, they do look for love like other people. We're not talking about a trip or a cruise or one of them a house party. People who really live down there. So yes, they look for love there too. And especially if they're living there.
Matter of, what are the outcomes you want? And because the danger for you is the same danger that women run into in Chicago and Houston. You make money and the lifestyle leads you to get finessed. You get finessed because some guy can come through with the right game and kind of blase scoop and get about 6 months out of you. Next thing you know, damn, I'm 30. He's just 6 months older.
Yeah, and I guess my question was going to be, like, do you think that we should be focusing on dating people that are older?
Yes.
Maybe that would
Yes. Yeah, and your husband ain't your age. Your husband probably about 35. 35 minimum. Because
too old for me at that age.
I say this stuff, and there are times I wish I could be proven wrong, but I'm proven more right every day. The men who are you're looking for a man who wants to take on the responsibility of a woman and this and that. And an attorney, really, you should be an asset to a man instead of men fearing you. They should fear the union, but The reason you're not you, but what reason women aren't today is because of this self first thing. I gotta move it on out, but I would say that you got to put yourself in the social circle. Are you in the social circle with men of value? I mean, they're high value, but men of value, men of productive, competitive, successful, character-driven men. Are you in a social circle where you interact with these men in public regularly?
I think I am just by way of like a lot of my tech associates.
Okay, what about you, 29?
I mean,
Nope. There's no yes, but nope. And that's the problem.
Yeah, I was going to say not a lot of black men. I would say that. So, yeah.
2.5 black men. We got plenty of black men. This is not okay. It's Miami more than anything else. It's Miami more than anything else because of the geography. And you know, shout out to Miami, you know.
Well, all honest, I think that we both kind of represented the other side of that woman here that's not like so far gone on that modern spectrum.
Yeah, but I'm still concerned because there's more and more women talking about they're being overwhelmed with choice. You're really not. And I mean, by what I'm saying is a lot. I talk to women every day, and it's like, well, how do you pick? How do you pick? I'm like, you pick from the if you're a wife, you pick from the husbands, and everybody ain't a husband, just like everybody ain't a wife. Yeah. Husbands don't move to Miami. Yeah. Husbands leave Miami.
I feel like there's an illusion of guys that they're on the dating scene and they'll be in your face and entertain you, but they're not necessarily.
You better believe. Next thing you know, they can hit it a couple times. You find out they man, please. I got stories.
Only 25% of black women get married, right? That's the statistic. Is it? I mean, when you're in a position like ours, do you take that gamble of still risking it for this 25%? Like, we already know all.
What do you do? 26% of black women get married. What's the question? Do you risk getting married?
Well, no, I'm not risking married. You want to get married? I'm saying if the odds are already so low, you tell women to still focus on that, make that.
Yes, the reason it's so low is because women aren't focused on it. The next lowest group of women is 54%. Okay, let me explain to you, and I got to get to the next group. Okay, when you went to college, did you go on campus?
Yeah.
Okay, when you went to college, one thing that I noticed is we went in as freshmen. Becky and you were roommates. Becky she went for Rush for Delta, and they was drinking and turning up in keg parties, and she was whole phasing, and they was acting. You was finding blonde hairs in the bathroom freshman and sophomore year. Freshman and sophomore year, you likely had a boyfriend or somebody you was dating kind of seriously, because a lot of black women don't want to have that reputation of being a hoe out here on the campus. Junior year comes along, Becky puts up the whole phase, and all of a sudden she comes in there with cookies and muffins and hanging out at the law library, over by the engineering school. She's hanging over where the guys who will future make money. She becomes a tutor or an RN or some shit. And in your junior, senior year, y'all are getting rid of your boyfriend because I'm about to graduate. You're gonna go here and I'm gonna go there. Maybe not you. You're gonna go there and I'm gonna go there. And I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna get my apartment. I'm gonna get my little Beamer. And they're like, they're trying to secure the dude, and y'all are going different. So this is the difference. That's why the next lowest group of married women is married at a 54% rate, because they are told to get married at an earlier age. Get a guy, bank on a guy in your college years who has the work ethic, drive, and potential, and work with that guy.
That is the end of that. I hopefully you enjoyed it. Like I said, everything I say may not be right, but I appreciate all your honesty. Like I said, if he was the teacher or the godfather, then his work that he has done in his lifetime, we need to go back and see if we still agree, Maybe we didn't agree, but now we agree. We don't know. But I would check, well, I would say tomorrow, but tomorrow's already today. No, Cole did not hit me with the time like she usually do. But I will see you guys later. Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.